Welcome to coverage of the World Gymnastics Championships. This, the men's all-around final. We're just waiting for Kenzo Shirai's floor score to come in, and there it is. It's 15.733. It's huge, and that follows Oleg Banaev's score of 13.766. David Balievsky, the third gymnast to go on floor from this top group. Those of you who do not know or haven't heard, Kohei Uchimura is out after an injury in qualification. So, the door is open for a new world all-around champion. Will it be David Balievsky?
Well, that was a very good opening tumble. Double front somersault with half turn. Cleanly met the floor. And again, another super technique. Double straight with full twist. Ooh, pace there. The judges want to see a landing clean without a jump or a step out. Just the tiniest of adjustments there. But this is a very nice fast-paced routine. He's a classical gymnast. Good extension through the legs. Has to hold the balance and show control. Does it very nicely. Little unusual cartwheel hopped in there. No, he needs to fix another good landing, but he's out of the floor. Just 1 foot out, a 0.1 deduction, but they all rack up. Very nicely finished with a triple twist.
He is looking in superb form. He was unfortunate there. I mean, we're talking centimetres here, but costly deductions, Chris.
Yes, we are, and you know, he's one of these people that's waiting for the moment of Uchimura, who's dominated the world of gymnastics for 10 years, to be out, and you know, it's such a moment they all want to grasp.
Certainly is, and the last Russian to become world champion was in 1999 with Nikolai Krukov, and I think he can see the opportunity. Really difficult floor worker.
Eddie Yusuf over on vault. Penultimate gymnast to go. He was 8th in the all-round competition in Rio.
Powerful run up. Nice into the double pike souk. Over rotates there. Didn't open out in enough time. Hips landed back there. You can see blocks. 1, 2, super height, and just couldn't control that landing.
So difficult with that double pike, isn't it? You've got to tug it, pull it right in to get it round and to open up. It's very tricky. 13.433 for Yusuf. Oh, Balievsky. He looks frustrated with himself.
He hasn't got the difficulty of Shirai. He won't be able to get into the 15s, so he needed to be absolutely perfect on the execution.
14.066. Not bad.
Not bad at all. It keeps him in touch.
That will do.
He's got strong apparatus to come.
European pommel horse champion. That'll be the next piece for him. Zhao Rotang now for China. And this lad was the second highest qualifier. He was injured in Rio, so didn't really get a chance to show the world what he can do. This is his opportunity. He's only 21 years old.
And that is pretty impressive start. Fabulous height on the tumbles. The higher you go, the more chance to add in those all-important twists. Oh, super technique. He spun that double straight somersault. Much more difficult to rotate in the straight shape. So we're seeing multiple twists and somersaults forwards and backwards. Speed. And super control. He's fought very hard on the landings. There's a relatively simple double twist and a real textbook meet the floor. This is very important. 3 twists. That was very clean.
Beautiful to watch, and a taste of things to come on the other 5 pieces of apparatus packed into that routine. He's going to be tough to beat.
He is indeed, and China are such a powerhouse in gymnastics.
Yeah, very precise on the tumbling, and big skills as well, double layout. Just a slight little adjustment, and there you can see the flare work with the spindle. So great to see variety and construction of the routines. Lifts high up into the handstand. And then this is the last tumble. This is how you finish. Wraps up, triple twist, spots the floor. Thank you very much.
He looks like he's peaked to perfection at this time, doesn't he?
He does, but if you just look in qualification, his difficulty score was 5.9. Shirai's was 7.2. So he needs to be over a mark better in execution.
However, let me throw in that Shirai fell on high bar.
Oh, absolutely. Like, there's 6 pieces to go, and floor is Shirai's absolute top piece. So the other gymnasts will fight back. But it just gives you a feeling of how difficult that routine was.
14.433. So he's up on qualification. He's sitting pretty in the top group. Well, brace yourselves for a bit of power here. The question is, will Enrique Lardouet be able to contain that power in this relatively small floor area? So the world all-round silver medalist looking sharp. Time to let the gymnastics do the talking.
Well, huge there. Run into the double pike. Cuba renowned for producing very powerful gymnasts. Double layout with the half turn. Blind landing so difficult. There we go. Up. Gymnasts can perform as many tumbles as they like. That's the double Arabian, half out. Must use all the floor. Then again, just nonchalant into the double front position. That's the pommel work on the floor. Double leg circle. Such a springy, powerful gymnast. So exciting to watch. There we go again. 3.5 full twist. That adds the difficulty. Got the 70 seconds. Final tumble. Double Arabian. Slight adjustment. Well, what a final this is turning into.
That's why he's the highest qualifier around all 6 pieces.
He's got that ability to seem to float in the air, hasn't he? Sort of kick the tumble out at the top, there we are, and float down to the floor. He just sort of finds that extra couple of centimetres to give him time to land properly. The only tumble that looked a bit of a struggle was the final one. He just tightened up, didn't he? But that, the double straight with the half turn, quite a blind landing. He's good at these forward landings though, isn't he? And that one he just fractionally kicked out too early. But wow, very impressive. Would be great to see them continue in this ilk, all fighting it out.
Oh, I'm sure we'll see it, Chris. I'm sure it's going to be a fight all the way to the finish. Gosh, an anxious wait. Every single 10th is going to be worth its weight, literally in gold, by the time we get round all 6 pieces.
Well, his difficulty score was 6 in qualification. So if he's kept the same routine, he's got the potential. He can't touch Shirai on this piece, but he's got the potential to go in second highest.
When he got a 14.466.
He's got a real virtuosity to his work, hasn't he? Not quite so difficult, but just that little something special.
Well, Chao Rotang is going to be the one to beat at this stage at 14.433. If, as you say, Chris, he's not going to be able to challenge Shirai.
But he did on the day in qualification. He qualified top, so he was obviously the most consistent gymnast of qualification. We've seen him through ups and downs, was absolutely great in 2015 Worlds, qualifying for the Olympics, and then just couldn't get it together in Rio.
Hardware looking, ooh, it's down 13.933. Ouch.
So whether that was a little bit less difficulty.
And maybe, I think, the last tumble a little bit juddery there on the steps.
Well, he was looking for mid-14s. Off the mark there. And Chopin, the last gymnast to go in this rotation. 22 years old. Outside the medals at the Olympics in the all-round, he finished 5th.
Ooh, double pike front with half turn out. Superb difficulty. And that's the way you land. Knew exactly where he was. Little bit short and chest down a little bit. Those are points the judges can deduct for. A little hop back, but very difficult. Full twisting front into a 2.5 twist. Lovely handstand shape. Gymnasts from China always beautifully prepared. All their basic shapes, very important. And another triple twist dismount, very much the favourite finish. You have to count your final tumble into your difficulty. The 10 most difficult elements added together to give you your difficulty, but the dismount has to be one of them.
Great start for Chopin.
I think that was one of the weaker tumbles, the double twisting, double back, chest down, so judges want to see the chest up there and a slight adjustment. He seemed to start well, fade a little bit in the middle and then tighten up towards the end. A good last few tumbles and finishing strongly on the triple twist. There, that's known as the Russian Vendy swing. And here we go. I think this is the final tumble. Stands, triple twist, heels together.
Whatever we think, he's happy with that.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be around the 14.
We scraped into the 14s in qualification. He got 14.1, so, and that made him finish 6th.
These guys know, you know, it's not about the first piece of apparatus. There's another 5 to go. It'd be interesting to see how they cope with Shirai's huge lead.
14.516. That's a big score for Lin Chopin.
He was right to be happy and pleased.
Over to pommel horse, Yoshime Orlando Calvo Moreno. The last gymnast to go here.
Slide pose on the handstand. So we're looking for fluency up into the handstand. Needs to keep the momentum going. Well done. Spindle on the end of the horse. Travels forwards. Interesting, difficult combination between the handles. Needs to really push those hips out. And travels again. A little bit loss of form in the legs and the momentum. But he's getting through it. Bit of a pause there on the pirouette. But he's through.
with a score of 13.8. And I can tell you that Niall Wilson scored 13.666 for his pommel horse routine. First of 6 pieces for Niall. That's up on his qualification score of 12.9, which saw him finish in 8th in qualification.
Lovely twisting vault from the young Spaniard. Only one in this top 24.
13.633 for the 19-year-old at his first World Championships. The gymnasts have now marched around to their second piece. They get a 3-minute warm-up. So, Shirai leads, Xiaopan in second, and Chao Ro-teng is third as it stands. Arthur Davietan just outside the medals after his rings. Zachary Clay made a mark for Canada, and Balievsky at the moment is in the top 8. Moldova, USA 9th. Wilson 16th at the moment, but a great start with 13.666. Further down the field, Kevin Serda there wrapping things up in 24th place. Not the first time in 30 years that Mexico have had a gymnast in the top 24.
So you can see the gymnasts all having the chance to quick little touch of the apparatus. They won't have worked in the arena since their qualification. They've got exactly the same apparatus out in the back where they will do all their warm-up. So, but the lighting and that sort of thing and the roar of the crowd is very different when you come inside. So these are much needed minutes.
Certainly are, and certainly on a piece of apparatus like parallel bars, high bar rings, you only get one touch, and it's really important that you get on the apparatus. Especially you look at the parallel bars now, the amount of fettling, as they say, they do with the bars, it really does take that time. Where vault, it's over quite quickly, and you could probably get 2 vaults within that 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're allowed the 2 vaults generally.
It's very rare you see them do the big vault. It's just a bit of a tempo timer, unless they're a bit unsure, but the top gymnasts will just do a single somersault walk. There's a blocker. Niall goes to rings. Third up there.
He scored 14.2 in qualification, but so far so good for Niall. Bauer just warming up.
I think he's got a real opportunity tonight, Niall. He's in that second group, pressure will be off. I think the top group will really be fighting, and that's where the mistakes will make.
Vanayev, he's currently in 15th place. Shirai will be first to go on the pommel horse, so last gymnast to warm up, and he'll get things set and ready to go as we all settle down and get ready for the second of 6 pieces of apparatus.
Well, if Shirai was the top qualifier on floor, he was the 39th on pommel horse in qualification. So he'll be looking to pick up a little bit there.
Well, that's the thing, being so good on floor, he needed that leeway. If you look at the Chinese Ru Tang, 14.866, it was nearly 1.6 marks in front.
Yeah.
So the lead Shirai's got from floor could easily disappear.
Until vault.
Until vault. Yeah.
Still, it is always nice to start on your good piece and start up front. It's good for morale.
For morale, yeah. Well, he has got a nice cushion in there, but he'll need to do something spectacular on the pommel horse.
Ahmet Onda over on rings. Just 21 years old. Such a difficult piece for young gymnasts, this. But a real tester for the all-around gymnast. And a real strength sapper to have as your second piece.
Yes, the rings as an individual piece will be contested mostly by gymnasts who just work rings. And for an all-rounder, it's really taxing. You need tremendous strength. Have to hold these strength elements for two. Have to show swinging as well. They are two multiple somersaults, two double front somersaults, swung very nicely. Hold the handstand. Have to control these rings, keep them still, keep the body tight. Have a big dismount. He's certainly got that. Beautiful double twisting, double tuck somersault. A very efficient rings routine.
I wonder if he could get into the 14s with that. He was close in qualification. Two Turkish gymnasts in this top 24.
Quite a nice balance in the routine between strength and swing. He was really good in the swinging elements. Slight adjustment there on the arms, so that's a 10th. Little adjustment, winds up the long swing, double twisting, double back dismount, and then a little adjustment on the landing. But nice to see Turkey represented at these championships.
So strongly. 21 years old, watch out, Tokyo 2020.
Well, that's what it's all about for these guys. Their eyes set firmly on that prize. And this is just another building block.
13-8-3-3 for rings. Malevsky in 8th place at the moment. European pommel champion. He's in the pommel final as well, qualified with the 6th highest score. So looking to raise his position from 8th.
Good solid piece for Belyavsky. Efficiently, single leg up to the handstand. Picks up into the double leg circle. That's really nice. Original work on the handles. That builds the difficulty. And travels with spindle down the horse. And a full spindle on the end. Back up to the one handle. That builds the difficulty for the gymnasts. Forward travel, good alignment with the shoulders and extension in the hips. This is what the judges look for. Fluent routine, no hesitation in the pirouette. Solid routine, Belyavsky.
Strong stuff from Belyavsky. He's on his way back, Chris.
He is, and that's what you have to do. Maximise your good pieces of apparatus. Make sure the ones that you're a little bit weaker on aren't a problem, but perform well on your star pieces, and he certainly did that there.
Over to Pablo Brega. Qualified 9th. Looking for that top 10 place.
Well, Switzerland are definitely one of the countries that have been very successful these last few years. Very stylish gymnasts. See beautiful extension through the legs. Lovely straight handstand. Good control. And that super swing with straight arms. The idea is to keep the elbows straight. Two lovely double front somersaults and immediately up into the handstand without a flicker. Very nice work. These dismounts, very good. Double twisting, double tuck. We're seeing that's one of the biggest places of improvement, I think, rings dismounts.
Yeah, they've been playing with the cord a little bit, haven't they, Craig, to try and get that kind of, you know, real relationship between strength and swing, and it really comes in as far as the dismounts are concerned. 14-9 for Pommelhorse and Belyavsky.
That's a good score. If you can crack a 15 on anything, you're on to a winner.
Well, up from qualification.
Chao Ruoteng in third at the moment. This is best piece of apparatus.
And you can see
look at the extension.
There, the height and clearance above the pommel. That's what the judges look for. Great execution. He needs to keep the momentum going though. Good separation there on the single leg work. Into handstand. Straight back down. And again. Gymnasts allowed 2 handstands within the routine. The double leg circle on the one handle for difficulty down to the end with the Russian Wendy circle. That's the forward travel. Magyar going backwards. Shavado, can he keep it going? Winds it up into the handstand, no hesitation. What a routine.
He's through. He kept the swing. He used a bit of strength in the middle, but you know what? He carried on, and he'll get a good score for that.
He looks very determined, doesn't he?
Back to Brega for his score, 13-6 for Rings. Judges like the dismount too, Chris.
Yep,
you
very
weren't
much.
alone. Great Britain's Niall Wilson now.
And Niall lifted to the rings by his coach Dave Murray from Leeds. All the personal coaches here with their gymnasts in the British team. Lovely strength element there. And again, you can link the strength moves, and there's the third one. Lifts the chin to show how well in control he is. Very compact physique, Niall. Lovely swinging as well. Needs to keep those rings under control. He does so. Another lovely swing to handstand with straight arms. And again, kills the swing at the top. Good dismount, double straight with full twist. He's delighted with that performance. Great stuff, Niall.
Super second piece for Niall Wilson, and it's written all over his face. Come on!
Flashbacks of Rio there, what a performer.
Chao Ruoteng, 14-8. He's in the lead. João Sousa, Brazil. 14-4-8-3, so he's got power.
He is powerful vaulter. Wraps in the Yurchenko with the 2.5 twist.
He's been to the Hippolyto School of Vaulting by the looks of things.
Yeah, lovely open out. Can you see the arms floating out, making that controlled landing.
14-5. Super stuff. Now Wilson, 14-3 for Rings. It's building. Watch this space. Your Moldova. Now, this is somebody to watch for the future. He's just 21 years old. He qualified in 7th. So, keep your eye on him.
Well, he's quite a slight but very stylish gymnast. Oh, look at the hands held out straight, shoulders beautifully down in line. Obviously a light body frame. That's super work. Has to time the swings correctly, the somersaults. And into the crucifix, shoulders down in line with the hands. He doesn't look like he's going to be a strong rings worker, but he's working with super technique. Just needs to lift those feet a little bit higher in the planche. to the handstand, little fight through the lower back. Here comes that lovely dismount. Double twisting, double tuck. Floats down to the floor.
Well, he was in 9th, going on to that piece. He should stay there, if not move up.
Well, it was good in the swinging elements. There you can see all the dismounts have greatly improved on this piece of apparatus. And I think the judges have worked with the coaches together within their own nations to say, this is where you're going to gain the points.
Then Chao-Pan, the penultimate gymnast to go on pommel horse in this rotation. So he was in 2nd after the first piece. Oh, this is a real fight, this men's all-around competition. Vanayev will be next to go. Everybody's ready. And Chao-Pan. Second place as it stands at the moment.
Pressure's on. Straight into the single leg. A little bit of a hesitation up to the handstand. Much better the second time. Now picks up into the double leg circle. Straight onto one handle there for the difficulty. Nice in the travel. Good elevation. That's the Russian bendy swing. Forward travel with the Magyar into the Shavado. Up into the handstand, pirouette. Well, he's pumped for that. What a routine.
He's fighting tooth and nail with his teammate.
You could see the pressure on his face before he started. It's the piece of apparatus where they've so much got to control the adrenaline and just be precise. That's the great thing about being an all-round gymnast. Every facet of your ability to compete, to explode, to control, to balance is tested. And pommel horse is probably one of the most taxing.
Moldauer, 14.066 for rings. He's up into 6th as it stands. Then Chao-Pan needs over 14.717 to go ahead of his teammate, up into that top spot.
I don't think it'll go into top. That little hesitation at the start's 0.3. But solid routine, and he's keeping the pressure on.
Well, in qualification, he was 13.8 only.
Down.
Yes, he was down. So we will see.
14.266. He's into 5th. So nearly half a mark behind Chao Ruotang. Kenzo Shirai in 2nd. Arthur Davyutan from Armenia is in 3rd. This gentleman, Vanayev, had a shaky start on floor. He's uncharacteristically in 15th place.
And Vanayev, of course, was the silver medalist in the Olympics. Behind Uchimura, he's the person everyone would expect to take the crown now. But the pressure is really on. Oh, and he's going for some very difficult work. Pirouetting in the handstand. Controlled it down, but he did clatter the horse as he came down. Those are deductions, but very difficult routine here. Lifting well above the handles. Lovely double leg circle work. Travelling confidently. It's a long routine, packed with difficulty, but also packed with deductions, and it just went on a bit too long. Legs bent. Now very disappointing to see this, really. He's chased and chased Uchimura all these years, and now the opportunity to take the crown is here. He's just faltering.
Come on, Vanayev. Finish it off. Up he goes. And what a shame. What a shame. A story of what could have been. But you know what? He's been so busy, hasn't he, since Rio? So many competitions.
It's a real shame because this is one of his better pieces of apparatus. He is in the pommel final. And it just ran out of momentum there at the end. I don't think his routine's exceptionally long, but he's had a really busy, tough schedule of competition on the circuits. And you wonder, is it too much?
Well, possibly, but the gymnasts have the opportunity to do lots of World Cup events, and he takes that chance.
Another chance to see the Canadian gymnast here in the Olympic Stadium, Zachary Clay. 22, and no doubt he'll be lifted by the noise in this place as his name was announced.
Starts, upper arm, front somersault, straight into handstand, under somersault, interesting, back somersault half turn, that's what the bandages are for on the arms, front up rise, little hesitation on the straddle front, and again from upper arm, back somersault with the half turn. Some nice work, good control in the studs and in the Damodav. Up, must fight, lifts high into the double pike, slight adjustment. Well, working well for the home crowd.
Get in, he's through. He's having a great time. Well done.
Just a couple of deductions at the end there when you have to move your hands and walk along. That gives the opportunity for the judges to deduct. Of course, the gymnasts start with 10 marks, and every time the judges see a fault and take points off, that goes down lower, and you get an execution score of somewhere between 9 and 6. We've seen over the championships.
Yeah, they really have hammered the gymnasts, the judges, really to get that score down. If you get round about an 8-5 on execution, you've done pretty well.
Just to update you on some scores, 13.666 Niall Wilson. Pommel horse 14.3 for his rings. He's in 10th at the moment. Now has some very high scoring pieces to come. 13.1 for Zachary Clay. He is in 16th with 4 more pieces to go.
You can see this is quite a complicated business, getting ready for the next apparatus. From the P bars, you go on to high bar. So he'll change different hand guards for the high bar.
Chance to see Nikita Nagorny on Russia on rings. He's in that same group as Niall Wilson. Very strong piece for him. Actually got the highest ring score of all of the gymnasts in this top 24. And a difficulty score of 6 on this.
Such a powerful gymnast. Look at that, circle round to the Maltese, shoulders level with the rings. And again, that immensely powerful work. And circles into the crucifix, but he must swing as well. Nicely in the double somersaults, straight to the crucifix. Back up rise into the straddle top planche. That's one of the requirements. The gymnast must swing into a strength move. Now he must lock the handstand. Forward long swing. That's solid work. Needs a big dismount. Double twist in, double back. Little adjustment, but very powerful. 14.466. Nikita Nagorny.
Nagorny then into 7th. Arthur Davitan. Vault.
Very experienced gymnast, very dynamic vaulter. Oh, fabulous technique. 2.5 twists from a handspring. Very difficult. Very well performed.
He was in 4th.
See the lift, the snap up. 2.5 twists, you have to say central. Had a little bit of a wander at the end.
He's up into 3rd. 14.9. What a shame for Vanayev. His competition is just crumbling. He's 19th now, 13.333. You don't see that very often.
And normally you'd think he could pull it back, but we thought in qualification he was down a bit, and we were all hoping that he'd, within a day, come back a bit stronger, but I think he's going to struggle now. It's a real disappointment.
This is how things look after 2 pieces of apparatus. Zhao Roteng leads ahead of Kenzo Shirai. Arthur Davitan is up into 3rd. Balievsky in 4th. Lin Chaopan 5th. Jay Souza 6th. It's incredible. Look, there's just half a mark between 1st and 6th. Niall Wilson now in 10th. Zachary Clay 16th. Lardouet 13th. Further down the field, Pablo Prega 21st. Kevin Sherder from Mexico 24th.
And the vault tends to be a bit of a more high-scoring piece for all the gymnasts. So until everyone's gone through vault, it can be a little bit difficult to assess.
Well, Lardouet scored 13.733 for his pommel. But, you know, even the top 3 places at the moment is just point 1? 0.1. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a step, less than a step.
Yeah. And like you say, when it goes to vault again, Shirai will post something massive on the vault, and then he'll slacken off a little bit, and he fell from high bar. I think the high bar is definitely going to be the real final, you know, sort of test for these gymnasts. Big releases.
Davitan looking to every single 10th he can here on parallel bars. He's in 3rd at the moment, and scored a 13.733 in qualification, so I'm sure he's going to drop away slightly here, but like we say, every 10th is vital, and the key to the all-round is consistency.
See at the end of the vault runway there, the DV, that's the difficulty value of the vault he's going to do, is 5.2. So you get given 10 marks, that would be a 15.2 if it was perfect.
Niall Wilson is capable of the high 14s. Vault.
I'm just wondering what's going through Beliavsky's mind now. He can see the opportunity, and he looks really up for it, Matt. At the start you said, I think he's the dark horse in this competition.
Yeah, I really do, and he's only, as it stands, 0.2 away from gold. He needs to be up in the 14s for this rings routine.
Well, he's one of the strongest in this group on this piece of apparatus. Straight into the Maltese position. And he pause. Back up rise, straddle top planche. Locked out in the arms. And again, circle round to the crucifix. It's good on the strength. Now watch the swing. Lays out. Double tuck. Double pike. Homna to crucifix. Flat. Oh, he's up for this. up into the handstand. So that's the requirement. Swing, in or through handstand, forward long swing. Lovely line in the handstand. It's going to be a big dismount. Winds up. Full twisting double straight.
Yes.
And he nails it. Well, Beliavsky is charging.
He's got to be in the top 3 after that. Halfway around, don't you think, Chris?
No, I do think he will be, and I'm delighted to see. He's just the sort of gymnast that sometimes gets a bit overexcited when he's doing well. So let's hope he can just keep it under wraps, because he's a gymnast we've seen fight away. Another one who, as a younger, when he first was on the scene, would often make mistakes, obviously put too much pressure on himself, but married this summer, and obviously married life suiting him.
Slow and steady wins the race. You pile the pressure on everybody else, my son.
He probably had a text message off the wife, don't come home unless you've won. But that won't have done him any harm whatsoever. The only thing I picked up was the Honma to crucifix. It was a little bit high and lower in, so the judges will pick that up his shoulders. But it was a very solid performance nevertheless.
14.1. Yeah, he is over the 14s. He needed that. Niall Wilson has just scored 14.1 on vault, which has put him up into second, but unfortunately it's not as high as he would have wanted that. Zhao Rotang now. China, his competition is going very, very well indeed. Just looking for a consistency here.
And rings is an apparatus that the Chinese gymnasts do excel at. It's very interesting the way different nations are really strong at different pieces. Generally physically well suited to the sport, and you can see he's holding his body at absolute straight line. It's the open the hands to show you're not having to hold tight to the rings. Super swinging and then killing it into the strength element. Oh, just a little bit of a bent elbow and a little bounce there. Judges will be quick with that. Another wonderful dismount. It's really down to difficulty, I think, here.
It's incredible, isn't it, Craig? When we're looking at the rings just turning and then we're going, oh, there's a 10th. I mean, but that's the level we're at now.
Absolutely, and for me, he wavered a bit. Look at his shoulders, high on the Maltese there, so the judges will take that. Same again, the Honma to crucifix, he went high and lowered in, so that could be as much as 3/10. But this was showing real strength, where they opened the hands in the crucifix. And he did swing well, but I think there is room for deductions there on the movements within the strength elements.
Now Wilson on vault.
So we've seen him the strength of the rings. What about the explosive power? Lots of down the runway. Very nice 2.5 twisting Sukahara. Big step on landing, 14.1.
It's going to be high 13s, but how high? 13.8.
Should be a judge, Matt.
I was thinking. Oh dear, it's funny. Enrique Lardue had a bit of a shocker on Pomelos. He's dropped down into 13th place here.
I do expect him to be good on rings, though.
Yeah, he's heavy though. It's difficult. I mean, it's such a tough piece for the gymnasts that have, I know it sounds bizarre, but a heavier bottom half, because you're pulling down the whole time, Craig.
Well, he's very strong in the shoulders though to match. 2 Maltese. There you go, into the crucifix. Now just look at the size of his shoulders. This is where he generates the power, but he must swing. Double tuck, double pike, up into the handstand. This is better work. That was much better. The Hummer into the crucifix. Held for the required time. Back up rise into the top planche, feet together. Now fix the rings. He's powerful. We know there's a big dismount. Double twisting, double back. Little adjustment on landing, but might be back in the game. He looks pumped for it, doesn't he?
Much happier with that. I would imagine pommels was always going to be his weaker piece. Where he's built. He was happy there. Clap of the hands.
I'm going low 14s, Chris.
Oh, are you? I think you're a bit generous there.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Did something go scrape into 14?
I think it might be a 13, high 13.
Moldauer on vault.
Well, easy, powerful. He is the 2.5 twist in the Sukahara. Good landing, 14.5.
He'll take that all day long.
And that was the difference between him and Niall Wilson. Niall, the big step, was a 0.4 off.
And out of the landing zone as well, Chris. So, like you say, those add up. That 4/10 he got over him there.
14-1-3-3.
Matt, you need to take your brevet exam.
Judge Baker, 14-1-3-3. Well, he needed that, Dewey.
Chopin was in 5th. Into this halfway stage. This is 3rd piece of 6.
Now, he is heavily strapped on his shoulder there. We saw him rubbing that as he finished pommels. And if you've got a bit of a sore shoulder, this is a piece that's going to wreck it. But that looks easy. That doesn't look a problem. Look at the control straight into the crucifix. They have to have the shoulders in line with the hands. And they hold the strength elements. Here's the big swinging elements. Into the top planche. Feet need to be just a little bit higher and elbows straighter.
Oh, he's feeling it now. Come on, son.
Yep. But look, he can press that handstand shape out all day. He's been able to handstand like that since he could walk. Practice daily. A little fight for the landing. He's satisfied, but a little touch of the shoulder. He's pleased it's over.
Well, he's been fighting the way around. He's been very fired up.
Yeah, there you can see. Good swing in the double somersaults. This was the bit where he struggled a bit. His left shoulder there, you could see, and it caused him to bend his arm. So he's just trying to fight from the pain. And over to the vault.
Go on there.
Now, Nagorny is very dynamic. Will we see what vault he's nominated? And get a quick chance to see. Oh, double front with half turn. A little bit of an early tuck. 14-8.
Huge. He's gone into the lead. He was in 7th. Keep your eye on that second group.
Yeah,
yeah, he certainly is a powerful gymnast.
13-6-6-6 for rings. Down on qualification, and yeah, losing strength and feeling it in that left shoulder now. Ahmed Honda.
Let's see what the vault will be. Yet again, the 2.5 twist in the Sugihara, slight adjustment, but I think that'll be a mid-14. This second group are really chasing and putting down some solid performances.
High difficulty at 5-3.
just see how these guys are so strong that they can bend their arms a little bit and then drive off the top of the platform. For the girls, if they do that, they're just not strong enough to recover. They have to vault on much straighter arms. That was good direction down the middle.
Mm. 14.533. He's getting close to that top 10.
Craig's eyes getting in there well as well.
I'm trying to catch up with Matt.
These gymnasts with their little suitcase full of goodies there to look after their bodies.
Niles in 8th at the moment, for all of you back in the UK that are listening to this. Sousa, P-Bars, Brazil. 24 years old. Well on vault.
One of his better pieces of apparatus. Straight away into the handstand. Under somersault with the half turn. And again, locks the arms well. Long swing. Nice high in the double front somersault. Judges looking for the extension above the bars, and he had that. Front up rise again, in the straddle front. Packed with difficulty. Plenty of variety. That's the long hang swing, so gymnasts must perform under the bars as well. And again, slight hesitation there on the tip out. Needs a solid dismount. Double front with the half turn. Yes, he's pumped for that.
He's having a great competition. High bar next for him. He's moved up from 6th into 4th with that score of 14.266. Kenzo Shirai in the mix for a medal. But what colour? He was in silver medal position. Walking up to rings. What will the next few strength-sapping moments have in store, Chris?
Well, he's a very slight gymnast, which means that he doesn't have such a heavy body to hold in these strength positions. That was very nice, controlled strength work. He's no doubt been working very hard to improve his weaker pieces. I mean, he's famous for his floor and vaulting. Oh, a little bit lopsided there. Good handstand shape. Have to work with the rings, circle forwards there to the handstand. You can just see a tiny bend of the elbows. And there, the double back somersault into the double twisting, double tuck. Very nice combination at the end there. Build the difficulty.
Every 10th is going to be vital for Shirai here. He needs high 13s.
I was going to say, he certainly does. He swings really well. There you can see the extension in the double tuck, the double pike. A little bit high, as Christine pointed out there in the planche. Certainly at the start with the Maltese. Was it a Maltese or a top planche? So I think the judges will pick that up. There you can see, as he did the circle around to crucifix, shoulders went high above the rings, so that is deductible. However, really interesting combination at the end. Yeah, and then wraps in for the twist.
Well, he was 13.7 in qualification.
He'd be happy with that, I think, if he scored the same.
Will he be in the top 3, though? That's the question. Vault, one of his favourite pieces, is next for Shirai. He's in 6th, 13.666. He's lost vital 10ths there.
I think he realises that rings is going to be a tricky piece for him.
Philipp Herder, the only German in the top 24. And he walks up to parallel bars. 24 years old. Qualified 17th for this men's all-round final.
Straight into the front somersault. Settles in the handstand. Precise on the half turn, the under somersault. Nice there, that's the tipelt, straight through, known as the Bavzar. And he'll repeat the tipelt again, great height above the bars. Good line within the handstand position. Little adjustment there, that's a 10th on the Diamidov. High in the front uprise, double front to land. Well, he's happy with that and not a bad routine at all.
He held on well on that dismount. He could have sat down very easily, couldn't he?
They're hard, them blind landings, aren't they, to spot the floor when you... 19th, Philip Herder.
14-1 there for that parallel bars.
Well, up from qualification. He'll certainly be happy with that. Just building the tents as they're going round the apparatus. That's the key to this.
There's one more gymnast left to go on parallel bars. You can see him just land there. Marius Georgiou, Cyprus. Ferhat Arakan. He's been a regular in the European P-bar final. Euros.
Nice little front somersault to start from upper arms. It's all about being able to control the handstand and swing from it. That was very good, the handstand on one rail. Oh, just lost control, let the leg split. Recovered it well. So you have to extend through the shoulders, hit that handstand, and then time exactly when the next element comes. Lovely swing with full turn. And with the half turn. And lifts very well indeed into that double front half turn. You could see him use the bounce of the bar to get up into the air.
Well, you can see that again in the P-bar final. He scored 14.683. He's capable of more than that. No doubt he'll be back in the training gym and preparing for that P-bar final.
Well, it was certainly packed with lots of variety, and you can see why he's in the parallel bar final. Another half mark on top of that is towards the 15s.
Very nice, stylish gymnast.
Over the years, Turkey's produced some very good parallel bar workers with some really interesting work, and that's just following on with that tradition.
So we're now in the second half of this men's all-around final. 3 more pieces to go. Chance to see Davyatan on P-bars.
Very experienced gymnast. Straight in the arms. Nice flight in the long swing. Works well into the middle of the bars. Just a simple under somersault to half lever, lift to handstand. Swing half turn, the Stutz. Full turn in the Diamidov. Not the most difficult routine we've seen, but perform well, and a cracking dismount. Height in that double pipe back.
He kicked it out to finish. Well, he was in third. And let's see what the judges gave him for that.
I don't think it's going to be difficult enough to challenge.
He's gone into fifth, 13.766.
So it's mixing around a little bit, isn't it?
Well, Nagorny, who's in that second group, now leads the field. We'll have confirmation. Here is confirmation halfway around. Nikita Nagorny leads. His teammate, David Balyevsky, is now in second. Chao Roteng third. Chao Tsuza from Brazil, he's knocking on the door as well now in fourth. Niall Wilson for Great Britain in ninth. Benayev in 12th. Eddie Yusuf 17th. Zachary Clay, a Canadian gymnast, he's in 22. So 24th.
Well, it's turning into a championships full of surprises. First of all, Uchimura out through injury. Yodaki, favourite for the all-round for the women, out through injury. And everybody thought maybe this was Venayev's year. And he's having a bit of a disaster.
Well, there's just 0.3 separating first and sixth.
So it's still absolutely anybody's, isn't it? But interesting that at this stage, Russia are 1-2. We've certainly thought of watching through the European circuit that they are right back on form, but they did not have a very good qualification here, the Russian team. They had two of their team, I think, do triple backs on floor and have problems with them. But they certainly are really coming back into the sort of form we saw years ago from Russia.
They certainly are. And vault's going to be really interesting. Shirai will be doing the vault named after himself. He has about 6-7 moves within the quarter points. So gymnasts, if they're good enough, can create moves, must produce it within a major championships like these. The Federation of Gymnastics will give it a difficulty, and it will go into the famous code of points.
That top group has got quite a few outstanding vaulters in it.
Well, Shirai is the only one to go over 15 on vault, but behind that, Lardouet 14.9, so he'll certainly need that. Venayev's got a fantastic vault, 14.833. I just feel it's a little bit too late for him.
12 is a long old way to come back from, isn't it? Really is. I mean, Shirai should be on top at the end of this. He's in sixth at the moment. Chao Roteng, he can get close to 15.
Well, you can see there the difficulty score 5.6, so the value or the difficulty table of the vaults have been dropped since the Olympics. So if you're wondering why they're scoring slightly lower, it's because they've been decreased, just to keep that in line with all the other pieces of apparatus, so you don't just have somebody running away with it on that.
Yes, the judging is always reviewed after the Olympic Games. All the judges in the world have had to re-qualify earlier in the year at the back end of 2016, so they're eagle-eyed, and scores have really reflected that here at this championships.
So the current leader on parallel bars, this gymnast, Chao Roteng, is in third at the moment.
Well, a little bit of an amble up. Oh, and a super vault. Look at that twisting. 3 twists. And it really was an amble up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I cannot believe the run up there. He just sort of jogged up to the vault, and the power that he just got from the top there, blocked in, wraps in, triple twist in the middle, slight adjustment. This was superb. Just watch there. The power, legs locked together, wraps in, triple twist, arms come out there, he spots the floor, plenty of time. That will score very well indeed.
It's very unusual at this level to see a gymnast sort of really not power down the runway.
14.9, Chao Roteng.
Very impressive vaulting.
Gorna is going to need 14-8 to stay in contention. In parallel bars. Another gymnast that is almost the definition of power. Enrique Lardouet. He's in 11th, but no doubt will vault up from there.
It's a different approach. It's powerful. The handspring, double front, half turn. Name the Dragolescu. He's up for hitting it. Look at that. Boom.
A huge vault. It was up in the roof of the Olympic Stadium.
Really was, wasn't it? That absolutely made to look easy. Blocks here, drives the heels up, chest up. It's 2.5 somersaults, and his body's completely extended as he kicks out of that. Very, very good vaulting. So what was it, out of 5-8?
5-6.
5-6.
So go 15, I think.
Yep, I don't think the judges will be able to find too much to take off.
Oh, 14-9-6-6. Lardouet up into second. Chao Roteng still leads. And Xiaopang is in 8th. And how will that shoulder hold up with this block?
No problems at all. Favouring the twisting vault rather than the multiple somersaults. It's a triple twist. Very difficult to control those. You have to absolutely block up.
A totally different approach to his teammate. Really powerful, blocks off the top, in the middle of the mat as well, so that's good. One slight adjustment, but you can see there, look, massive heel drive. Feet and legs locked together, wraps in, 3 twists, separates the arms there, spots the floor. Will score well. I don't think it'll make a 15, but it should score high 14s to keep him in contention.
$14-9.
Well, it's going to have to be something pretty special to go into the 15s. And this young man could really do with that something special now.
Oleg Vonayev, third at the European Championships on vault.
Come on, Oleg. Be a big vault, another 5-6, double front, half turn, little adjustment. But that was a big vault, indeed.
He's so slight, it always amazes me how well he can vault. But that's such a flighty vault. He really blocks, up it goes, rolls the shoulder, but that was a little bit of a hesitant landing. He didn't stamp his authority on the landing.
I think you can see the look in his face when he's presented now. He knows that he's beaten. I think that's the problem, and his heart doesn't look in it. Such a shame, because what a performer.
$14-8, 3-3 for Vonayev. He's in 5th.
Well, he's clawing his way back, and he still has his best piece to go.
Kenzo Shirai needs to go over 15, which he did in qualification. He got the second highest vault score. Such an important piece for Kenzo Shirai from Japan.
Well, it's another 5-6. Yurchenko with a triple twist. Super height, massive block from the top of the platform. Just that slight adjustment on landing, but I'd find it difficult to take deductions anywhere else. Look at this.
He uses a very interesting technique, doesn't he? You watch the hands plant, turned right out on this platform. So he makes the round off, and then the hands are completely turned out, so the elbows are blocking. through almost a hyperextension. He gets fantastic height. But there was the bounce backwards. We've seen him compete 3.5 twists. We've seen him do more.
Oh, he scored 15. He's into second. Chao Ruoteng leads this competition by 0.1. Valievsky is 14.867 off the top spot.
And he's going to have to vault out of his skin.
Well, he looks determined and focused. It's a very powerful vault. Wraps in for the triple twist. And what about that? Hey, he's having it.
Well, he became a dad a few weeks ago.
No wonder he's looking like he hasn't had a lot of sleep.
Well,
but sometimes, actually, you know, because he's a gymnast we've seen often be a bit too intense in his competing, and often when you've got something a little bit more in your life and you take it a bit more in your stride, then it can bring the best out in you.
I tell you what, that's one of the best vaults I've seen Valievsky do.
I don't think I've seen him triple.
I was just going to say, yeah, he's a 2.5, so yeah. I think he's just upped the difficulty because he thinks he's in for a shot. He's seen the doors open, and this could be his World Championship.
That's a great move. Honestly, it is. He's into second. 14.783. 0.086 off Ruoteng. Oh, what a battle. Chao Souza, high bar. Stand by your beds.
And he's a gritty, determined performer, this guy. Super series of catch-overs. The first one stooped or straight. Then the second one with a half turn. Winds up for something more. Oh, but that was never going to be on. Well, I hope the gymnasts are not as startled by the lights as we are watching this. The shine off the lights is quite a glare. I know a lot of them have been complaining about the lighting in the arena, but he just released too late, and you could see from the beginning he wasn't going to be able to recatch. He has to be back on that high bar within 30 seconds. Here we are. He is, but you can see what I mean about the lighting. Half turn, swings forwards now. Squat dislocation. Into the Markelov. Little bit of a deduction there, feet apart. High bar is a piece of apparatus the judges have really hammered. Very nice, double twisting, double straight, but one mark off for the fall and you won't get credited with the move. So down 12.133.
Drops from 4th to 10th. But just 24 years old, bright future.
Well, he knew then, you could see he was saying to his coach, my feet just went over the bar a little bit too far. And it's amazing, as soon as you let go of the apparatus, you know how it feels as a gymnast, you know if you're going to catch or not.
Standings after 4. Chao Ruoteng, Valievsky, Kenzo Shirai, Chopin. But just look at the, I mean, it's again so close. Yeah. Even after vault, there's half a mark in it. Nikita Nagorny needs very high 14s to put him up in the mix. He was leading this competition at the last rotation. Scored 13.9 in qualies.
Strong start. Front somersault straight into handstand. Under somersault to one bar. Not held just long enough. Better with the half turn there. Long swing. That's the difficult skill. Jammed off, Healy out, and another Healy turn. Such a compact gymnast. Slight adjustment there. High into the dismount, double front with a half turn. Well, it's a solid routine.
It all just looked a bit of a scramble to me. Like, the P-bar's a really nice P-bar routine. They settle in the handstand, everything has a rhythm. Whereas that seemed to be a bit of a speed. It just went fast, didn't it, the whole time? He rarely hit a good handstand. Having said that, that was quite a good one. It was just an impression I got of it.
Yeah, a bit rapid, wasn't it?
I think he just lost his momentum at the start with the under somersault to one rail, and because he wasn't just in line, it put a bit of a pace on the rest of the routine. But what a dismount!
Lots of difficulty as well.
See, I think the coach is going, yeah, you might not have got credited with that under somersault there.
But yes, the Russians have been through a bit of a quiet time, and it's great to see both him and Balievsky back in those top spots.
He doesn't look a stressed gymnast either, does he? He looks like, wow, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
Like the crowd.
I can tell you Niall Wilson scored 14.5 on parallel bars. He's up into 7th as it stands. Still waiting for Nagorny's score to come in. So Niall will probably drop down. Wait and see.
Well, now got 14.2 in qualification. All we can ask is that these gymnasts perform better than the competition. And Niall's had an absolute blinder.
Stormer.
Really has.
2 pieces left to go for him. Nikita Nagorny is in 4th with a score of 14.541, and with a shake of the head, he disagrees with that. Moldauer.
I think this gymnast has the potential to be a really good parallel bar worker. Oh, super height on that front somersault. It's a very nice handstand. Just a little pace with the hands to bring it under control there. Very nice turn on one arm, and again. The somersault with half turn. He looks very at home in the handstand position. Second front somersault with half turn. Steadily there, joins his feet. Here comes the super high dismount. Double front with half turn. That's as good as we've seen from anyone. And rewarded with a 14.533.
He's into 6th. Daviotan's been as high as 3rd in the running throughout this all-round competition. He's dropped off the pace somewhat.
Onto the bar. Straight in to the Markelov. Judges really checking for the turns into handstand. There's the in-bar squat dislocate. Not the most difficult routine. With the half turn from the squat dislocate. Some good gymnastics, but not the most difficult that we'll see on the high bar. Solid dismount though, double twisting, double back in the tuck position.
He's been in European high bar finals.
See how he changes his shape now. Mostly we see the double straight dismounts with twist. That was unusual because it was a double tuck with twist, and that will carry less marks. If you do it in the tuck position rather than straight, it doesn't have the same value.
We're used to seeing several releases on the high bar as well. He had quite a safe Markelov at the start. Not the most intricate in-bar work as well. Yet again, a solid performance, but won't score highly.
We had a very good view of the judges sitting up high. They're off the competition floor here in little booths. Keep your eyes open and you'll see them. It's quite a different format. It keeps the competition arena quite clear.
Well, this gymnast can certainly work the parallel bars. Pablo Brega. He's in the P-bar final.
One of the really successful piece of apparatus for these Swiss gymnasts. Very nice long line. Lovely swing. Straddle cut and swing through. This apparatus has changed quite a lot in this last cycle. Seeing a lot more swinging work, and that was very nicely done. Use of the one rail turned out back into the two. Just a front somersault and then straight up into handstand. Oh, but he put his feet too far across then. They have to stay directly above your hands. You could see there was absolutely no way he could recover from there.
Such a shame, it was going really well up to that. And as you said there, Christine, his feet just went over that bar too much. And that once they've gone over, you're off.
There we are, you can see the judges in their little booths. Little shuffle of the hands, there's little deductions there. Oh, double front, a big step on landing. Become a very popular dismount, this, the double front. He'll be disappointed with himself. That's the piece he's meant to shine on.
Well, he'll be back. As I said, he's in the P-bar final, so he'll get another chance to show the world what he can do on this piece.
And I guess he'll be thinking, well, it's a good job that wasn't the final of the P-bars.
I was going to say, yeah, and you see a lot of gymnasts now doing the double front with the half turn, because it's so difficult with that blind landing to spot the floor.
Davutan scores a 12.733 for his high bar. He's in 11th with 2 pieces to go.
It's always been a piece of apparatus that the judges are quite keep the scores down low, but this championships, with them all newly qualified, everybody hawk-eyed, it seems they just seem to have deducted everything. The highest the second place high bar was a 14.433. If you think we're seeing 15s on other apparatus.
And if we think back to Rio, we were seeing 16s by the top, so you can tell that half a mark that's come off each apparatus as that requirement. That's really affecting it, on top of the judges being super sharp on this code. And to me, it doesn't matter if the scores are low, as long as they're consistent with all the gymnasts. And I think within this competition, they've been pretty consistent.
Pushes the difficulty, though, doesn't it? And there's been a lot of falls here.
Yep, so where are we here?
12-7 for P-bars Brega was in joint 15th. He's now gone down to 20th.
Well, it was the last gymnast to perform on that piece of apparatus. I'm thinking we're looking around the arena. The gymnasts will be moving to their penultimate apparatus. Hopefully Matt should give us an update on where the standings are.
Well, we'll have to wait for confirmation, make it all official. But I can tell you that Chao Roteng is out in the lead, but not by a lot, because just 0.084 separates him and Balievsky. Niall Wilson on parallel bars. Niall is having a storming competition so far.
Good piece of apparatus for Niall, this. Such a powerful gymnast. Front somersault with ease, up into the handstand. Under somersault, half turn. And to one rail. Excellent work into the Healy. That's the highest difficulty. Unusual under somersault into a back somersault. I've not seen that before. Original work. Into the Babsar. High in the Tipelt. He's such a compact gymnast. Stylish to watch. Healy turn. Big in the front uprise. Double front dismount, slight adjustment. But what a routine from Niall Wilson.
Sharp and crisp. And he gets a 14.5 from the judges. And he's in 8th.
What you have to remember with Niall is he had an ankle operation in January. He damaged an ankle, and quite a nasty, it was quite a big injury. He wasn't expected to be back yet at all. So he's made a phenomenal recovery.
Confirmation with 2 to go that Chao Roteng leads the field ahead of David Balievsky, just 0.084 between them. Shirai now is in 3rd. Nikita Nagorny pushed out into 4th. Arthur Dabutan was up in that mix for a while. He's now joined 11th, the Colombian gymnast. Souza, after the fall on high bar, drops to 15th. Pablo Brega, 20th after his dramas on parallel bars. Eddie Yusuf, 17th, and so down in 24th.
I think Balievsky's within reaching distance of this title. He's got 2 of his stronger pieces of apparatus to go.
Yeah, P-bars is going to be key for him, that's for sure. And then he can go out in a flurry on high bar if he can hold his nerve.
Well, the thing about his high bar routine is it scores well, but it's very
low
safe.
Risk. Low risk,
low
yeah.
risk.
Yeah.
And if you think about the next 2 pieces, Vernayev is the Olympic champion on parallel bars. He's super strong, but his high bar's pretty weak in comparison. Balievsky knows he's got a really strong parallel bars and a really strong high bar.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a real finish.
Well, we've had Japan in the guise of Kohei Uchimura dominating men's gymnastics for the last 10 years, but before that it was China providing the all-around champions. So China will be keen to get back that supremacy, and of course prior to that was really Russia. So these are the 3 powerhouses of men's gymnastics.
Interesting, Lardway as well. He's pretty handy on P-bars.
P-bars on high bar,
and high bar. So it is going to be very, very close.
It's 10 years since a Chinese gymnast won the all-around in the men's. Yang Wei, 2007, 2006. So if one of these Chinese gymnasts happens to just stay at the top, they're going to go back a national hero. Well, whoever wins this title is going to go
Yes,
back a
yeah.
national hero.
I was going to say it's 10 years since anybody other than Japan.
Yeah,
Uchimura have won, and that is some record. I do think he's been the best gymnast I've ever seen, for sure. And so dominant over the years. Interesting, really, because it's quite usual for China not to bother to send two all-arounders, but they look like they're after sort of re-establishing themselves at the top.
Yeah, I think about the Olympics, the Chinese gymnasts seem to have gone to win the team title.
Yes.
It's like, we're going to win the team, and yes, we'll do the all-around, but for them, I think it's been the big thing. And maybe the fact that, you know, they didn't win in Rio and they've come back and gone, well, we're looking at the change in the code, which is going to focus more on the all-arounder, and it looks like they might be ahead of the game with putting two gymnasts.
Well, both nations, China, well, all three, China, Japan, Russia, are countries who've got steeped in history of gymnastics. It's sort of part of their national cultures. Then probably their top national sports.
So there's only Shirai in this top group who is not in the B-bar final.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So so it should be a very tight round.
And surprising, yeah, he's the lowest scoring competitor on the parallel bars, so in this group. So he's going to be trying to claw every 10th possible. Yeah. That's without a doubt. And the same, actually, if you look at high bar, is the lowest scorer on the high bar from qualification in that group as well.
We're watching Niall Wilson on the warm-up, yes, yeah.
Well, good piece for Niall. Bronze medalist in the Olympic Games.
Sure.
He didn't have a great high bar in qualification, so no doubt be very keen to put that right.
He's still first reserve for that final, so you never know what can happen in
He's got some
gym
really difficult skills there. I think he fell off in the Kachev with half turn.
So Moldova will be the first gymnast to go. It's the penultimate piece of apparatus for all the gymnasts in this men's all-round competition.
You can see the coaches here. This is something most coaches have. They have a tension gauge, because how tight the wires are make a difference as to how bouncy the bar is. So at one time it was just left to a bit of chance of the coach twanging the wire, but now they have the tension gauge, which tells them what the tension is on the bar.
Moldova is in 6th place at the moment. Looks a little tentative.
Beautiful, stylish gymnast, though. The legs are locked together all the time. Very nice. Straight line. Oh, good one-armed work. Full pirouette from the squat dislocation. There with the half turn. Just changing the shape, ready for the Kovacs, the somersault over the bar, the one-arm swing. You have to show somersaults, you have to show pirouettes. You need to be secure, and you have to have this big dismount. Here it comes. Just a single twist in the double straight, but a perfect landing.
Very nice high bar work. One more piece to go for him, and it's floor. Dropped off the pace, pommel horse. Enrique Laudoué can't off-work these P-bars. It's the third highest qualifier. He scored 15-2.
Powerful gymnast. Straight into work, front somersault into the handstand. Good straight arms on the under somersault. Then with the half turn. Very precise, that's the McCuts. Heely turn. Watch the height now. High above the bars in the straddle front somersault. He's got to work under the bars. Travels from one end to the other with the Bavzar. Back again, into the middle tip out, into handstand. It's a big dismount. He needs to spot the landing. Double front with a half turn, nails it well.
He didn't give too much away there.
Large away, back in the mix.
Really efficient with that dismount, isn't he? He can kick out and turn perfectly from the forward rotation. Just the same as on the vault. He's looking quite calm, actually, isn't he? Super style, you know, the feet are just locked together. My only complaint would be sometimes the feet are turned up a little bit. The pace of the routine is, well, as we were speaking about earlier, and there we are, that's the dismount. The double front, extend the hips out. Very nice work.
When it's so close as well, competition like this, it's hard to be the first one up on these pieces of apparatus. He set the benchmark. He says, right, lads, follow that if you can.
Great when you do it well, though.
Yeah. 13.333. Moldauer's high bar. Says he's in the lead, but it's early days in this rotation.
The only one who's done all the apparatus.
14.933. Lardway is down on his qualification score by 0.3. And Chopin just chalking up the bars, and full of experience on this piece of apparatus. He was world champion 4 years ago on P-bars. So, Lin Chopin, currently in 5th place.
So would fancy his chances of creeping up the leaderboard. He'll talk to himself. Oh, beautifully done, real straight arms. Tight tuck, knees locked together. Just slight hesitation there, but regaining the momentum. That was a super turn on one arm and a fabulous high front somersault. Just floats above the bar. Very secure on the turn. Really beautiful work here. You can see the control in the handstand phase. He chooses when to do the next bit, and here it comes. Super high, double pike dismount. Really excellent work there.
What a class act he is. It's absolutely beautiful, quite mesmerising to watch.
When the Chinese are on P-bars, there is nobody better when they're on song, and this routine had everything. Front up rise into the double back. He did a huge straddle front somersault where most people might see it here now. Up, is this the one? Straddle front somersault into the long hang position, which is so difficult. Probably the only one that we'll see in this championships. High into the double pike. Full of really interesting work. Yeah, he's happy with that, so you should be. For me, that's the best parallel bar routine we've seen so far.
He's going to challenge, isn't he, for the world medal yet again, 4 years after he won it. Yeah, we'll see you again in the P-bar final.
Oh, they're holding these scores.
14-8. That's harsh.
Very harsh.
They're holding these scores, aren't they? Very tight indeed.
Maybe they're holding the scores for this young man.
Wow, yeah. Former world champion. Highest qualifier for the P-bar final. Olympic champion. The list goes on. Current European champion. But not on song today. But you know what? We might just see him put in a display of greatness here.
Even when he's been having poor times, he's usually managed to hold himself together on P-bars. I mean, as a junior gymnast, we saw him many times succumb to the pressure and not really be able to fulfill his promise.
Come on, Oleg.
Opt in for the front somersault start before he gets down to business. Under somersault with the half turn. Up to one hand. Oh, he had to fight there. Did well to recover. Healy out from the one bar. And again, jammered off with the McCutts. High in the tipelt. And he'll work back down the bars. High. The Bavzar into the middle of the bars. Good on the Healy turn. Precise with the hands. And again, studs to one bar. Big dismount. Double front with the half turn. Nails the landing. Well, anybody else would have been off the bars then for certain.
He looked a bit more determined there, as if, come on, I've had enough of this.
It's the story of his competition right there in front of us, wasn't it?
He's such a tactician on this piece of apparatus.
We've generally seen such very nicely paced routines. Routines that the gymnast looks completely in control. That they choose when to bail, they choose when to make the action. That was better, Oleg.
Apart from the little leg split there and that loss of momentum, the rest of the routine was pretty much on song.
But the day that the damage will be done, there'll be a 0.5, would you think?
I would think 0.5 for that. You get the combination, that's the key to go into the Healy from the one bar. Lots of gymnasts struggle with the under somersault to one rail because to have the balance on that one bar.
14.966. Showing he's in third, but there's a lot of gymnastics still left to go here. Kenzo's.
So what did Kenzo score in qualification here?
He scored a 14.666.
I think that's the top end of his parallel bar work.
Kenzo Shirai in third place. He needs the P-bar routine of his life here.
Well, a safe start. It's the handstand well. Very nice. Double somersault. Lovely full turn. And the somersault with half turn. Another good high front summy. He's packing the work in. Double front with half turn. Goodness me, he rotates so well.
Do you know, I don't know if he could have done it much better than that, and that is exactly what he needed.
It certainly was. The question was asked, and he absolutely answered there. I agree. I think he could not have done that routine any better. I think that's the mark of a true all-around gymnast, is when the pressure's on, to get on the apparatus and deliver the routine of your life, which he did. And it had a real nice flow to the routine. And that dismount, that's what double front, half turn, loads of gymnasts are going for this type of dismount now.
Yeah, it's well rewarded on the Coda points. And it's become the dismount, really, of this phase of competition.
Yeah, years ago everybody would do the double pike, but now they're looking for the double front with half turn.
He needs 14.316 to go into the lead.
Well, I think he could be close, you know. What does Judge Baker think?
Yeah,
I think he will.
You think he'll get that?
Yeah.
They're having that discussion.
I think he's actually going to be quite high in the 14s.
Yeah.
I think
there wasn't a lot wrong with that
14.78.
It depends really on the difficulty score.
Yeah, but it was quite difficult. He had lots of stuff and tricky combinations there as well. Let's see.
14.633. They are being harsh, but he'll take that.
He definitely will.
Well, what does the next few minutes have in store for David Balievsky? Well, oh my word, how must he be feeling? A world all-around medal is within his sights. He was third in the Olympics on this piece of apparatus. Come on, Balievsky.
Well, he is strong on this piece of apparatus. Front uprise into the Diamondov and to the studs. This is really difficult work. And such a compact gymnast. Look at this. Travels nicely along the bars. Slows the tempo down a little bit. There we go. Front somersault straight into handstand. With the heely turn. Oh, this is good. This is good. A little bit short on the studs to one bar. He's holding it well. And again, it's just a dismount to go. Double front, oh no, he nailed it! Well, what about that? Balievsky! I think that's enough to go into first place.
That was magic! It was
Ooh.
magic!
It was indeed, and if he goes into high bar in first, well, it's his to lose then.
That routine, I think, has just sealed the deal.
Oh, come on, judges, get on his side.
I think he is a gymnast who there's a lot of will from the gymnastic community to see do well.
Well, there's just been a roar in the arena, and Niall Wilson is punching the air.
So I guess that means a good high bar. Let's hope we have a chance to see it.
Well, he scored 15 in qualification, Balievsky, didn't he? And I think if anybody's going to go to 15, it could be him. I'm going to say that's a 15. I really am. That was something special, that.
Well, Shirai's in the lead. Chopin second, Lardouet third, Benayev, he's climbed back to fourth, Benayev.
Well, they're having a very long, hard think about this score.
14.616 to go into the lead.
Oh, I think
It's got to be way
he
above
should
that.
be way above that, I think.
To have half a mark on Shirai going on the high bar.
And being better than Shirai on the high bar. And I think he realises now he just needs to keep his nerve.
Yeah.
Which is easier said than done.
One routine left. One routine. Niall Wilson, I can tell you, scored 14.433, which has put him into fifth.
With 4 to go.
Current leader, Kenzo Shirai, 72.465.
All eyes are glued onto that scoreboard. Where will Balievsky sit and what will the score be? Making sure it's right.
Well, they're having a big debate about it, aren't they?
I can't see it's going to be on the difficulty score because there was no debate with the skills, certainly within the combination.
Who's going to be the champion?
Well, I think that's him there.
You do?
I think now Beliavsky is going to take this. Score's coming in, he's nodding his head. Oh!
It's huge! It's 15.266. He's well in the lead with 1 to go. Just high bar stands between him and all around world gold.
Well, we've still got one more gymnast on parallel bars.
Yes, we do.
And
Good
he'll
point,
have
Chris.
something to say, I think.
Yes, Chao Roteng, who is the current leader, he scored 14.8 in qualification.
And he's just done a very efficient double somersault. Lovely handstand lines. Floats up above the bar. Another multiple somersault. Lovely high straddle. Super high, double pike summy, just that pace backwards, which was a bit of a shame. That will be a 0.3 deduction.
Yeah. Will he make 15?
I don't think so with that. I mean, the first start of the routine, yet again, that's big difficulty work, the front up rise into the double back. Judges are now looking for the gymnast to kick out of these somersaults. And I think his legs clattered the bars a little bit there as well.
I wondered that. I couldn't see clearly, but I did wonder.
So that could be a 3, as much as a 0.3 deduction. Great there, though. Long swing. Does he kick out? Yes. Plenty of extension before the being level with the bars. And then there, high into double pike. Hips slightly back on the landing there, you can see. I think you're right there, Chris. That'll be a 0.3 as well. It'll be in the 14s. Certainly that mid to high.
14.6. Roteng, second. Niall Wilson is in 7th.
But that was some score for Beliavsky. 15-2. Gives him a little bit of a cushion.
Well, half a mark to second.
He looks fired up.
He absolutely does. And you know what you were saying earlier before, Christine, about some of these gymnasts, they become really content. You know, we talk about, he got married last year, he's just become a dad. Other things in his life are obviously more important than his gymnastics. He's coming into here and going, you know what? Well, what are 12 months if he became the world champion tonight?
Niall Wilson, 2 pieces left to go for him. This one of his favourite pieces of apparatus. Olympic bronze medalist. Come on, Niall.
Well, this is something exciting to watch. It's got some big releases. Watch this, winds up. There's the full twist over the bar in the straight position. Hang your horses, he'll be doing another. In the tuck position at full stretch there. That's what the judges are looking for. Straight Katchev, straddle Katchev. The straddle with the half turn, that's where he came off in qualification. No mistake today. A little bit late there in the full turn. That's better. Squat this low with the half. Stalder. The hop full. Just needs to wind up for the dismount. It's big. It will be big. Wraps in. Double twisting, double straight. Get in there, my son. Look at that.
What a way to finish. A superb routine. Get in, Niall. Floor to go.
And his coach Dave Murray there from Leeds. Great work, great work.
Really caught all those on full extension. You know, if you catch with your elbows bent, the judges have little deductions, but he really went for broke. Niall is very good at being prepared to go for it when it matters. Some gymnasts just tighten up and play a bit safe, but it's in his nature to really want to fight and go for the
That is fantastic.
14-4-3-3. Niall Wilson is in 7th.
That is a great score because we haven't seen much out of the 12s.
I think that's the top
13s.
Qualification score for the high bar,
14-4-3-3.
That just shows his potential. And what I love about Niall's high bar, compared to some of the other gymnasts, you see a lot of the finalists are quite one-sided with the routine, but he does Kovacs, he does Katchevs. It's a great routine.
Confirmation with 1 piece to go that David Balievsky leads the field. Chao Roteng in 2nd, Kenzo Shirai 3rd, Lin Chongpan 4th. Great Britain's Niall Wilson in 7th. Pablo Brega 14th. To that final page. Philip Herder, German in 18th. Zachary Clay 20th. Kevin Serda has moved up a place into 23rd.
And if Niall can perform well on the floor, scores on the floor are a bit higher than the high bar scores.
And I think we just need to get into context what a year he's had to come back from that injury in January. You know, if he'd have had another month, I know you can always say that, but another month in his fitness, he'd have been right up there. I think he's a really exciting prospect for the future on the all-round. Definitely.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And as you can see there, he loves to perform. And that's the most important bit, I think.
I was going to say that, Craig. You have to have that in your nature. You have to want to get out there and perform to be a real successful.
Well,
I think the thing now is who's going to take silver and bronze.
Well, Beliavsky has to stay on the bar.
Yeah, but he's got a pretty, I don't want to say safe routine, but out of some of the big tricks that are going on there, he's got a very cleverly constructed routine. You know, I've not seen him miss this routine. You know, I don't want to
best not to actually.
You know, but it's going to be very interesting looking down that field with Lardouet. You've got Chopin, Shirai.
Yeah. Wu Tang.
I mean, Niall's only 2 marks off the top spot.
If he gets an 18 on floor.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 marks is quite a way.
Wow. We've seen the majority of these gymnasts take a fall on high bar.
Yes, yes, yeah, no, you're right.
So the gymnast that's in 4th will be first to go here on high bar. It's the last piece of apparatus of 6 in the all-round. This is the only piece of apparatus that stands between them and a world all-around medal. Who's it going to be? It's time to find out.
Well, they can't hold back now, that's for certain. Got to go for broke. Expect some big releases as well. Nice full twist there in the Casino. High again in the tuck position. There's a hot full turn. Straight catch up with the half turn. This is really difficult work. Stoop full into the Markelov. That's the endo. To the Healy turn. Another squat dislocate. Just the dismount to go. Works well so far. Kicks up, wraps in. Double twisting, double straight. Well, you can see what he means to him. That is laying a challenge to get on the podium. Look at that.
Well, he's through. He's one of the gymnasts that came a cropper in qualification, but not when it mattered. What a bid for a medal.
And that's when it's great to work first. When you can work like that and pile the pressure on everybody following on. His job's done.
Tough act to follow.
Super releases here. You can see that half turn as he catches and he swings out of it so well. Sometimes the gymnast, if they don't time it right, will stall at the end of that catch. He played with fire a little bit here. He was a bit late on that turn, but he recovered it well. Very efficient double twist. Takes a deep landing there, but it was totally under control.
And you know, it's really nice to see. You don't often see the Chinese gymnast showing that expression, and you could see that it was like, yes, you know, you could see what it meant to him, which was really nice to see.
No, he's been quite charismatic throughout the competition.
Very characterful, throughout all 6 pieces. He's been a joy to watch.
Yeah, even with the shoulder on the rings and, you know, because sometimes the Chinese gymnasts, as you say, can be not so good at showing personality.
Just reserved.
14.3. There's your leader. Beat him if you can.
So it just the rings that dropped into the 13s. He's been very consistent.
Benayev will be next to go. Here he is. He has had a tough time of it on high bar in recent years, Benayev. Let's hope it goes good for him today.
And there's the Markelov with half turn. That's his release. Super Kachev in the straight position. And with the turn, and he also swings very smoothly out of it. And again in the straddle. Oh, but with that full turn, he was offline. Didn't quite get the hand on cleanly, and the way his day has gone, I think he felt it was better just to get off and give himself a breather.
What a shame, Vanayev. He, as I'm sure everybody in here, had high hopes for him. That this was his year, this was his time.
He's one of the nicest guys. He competes all around the world. And as has been said, he's probably competed a little bit too much. Not come to this championships quite so fresh. And again, a bit offline. There's no real reason why he ought to not be good on high bar. That was a lovely dismount. Just sometimes you lose a bit of confidence. But he's got all the prerequisites to be a good high bar worker.
I was just going to say, it looks like he's increased his difficulty on the high bar, because it didn't used to be one of his stronger pieces of apparatus, but there you can see the straight catch Ed with the half turn. He did it again in the straddle.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think we might see the full there, look, there in the full, and he just didn't get his hand in the correct position, and that would have been straight into the Markelov for an extra combination. You could see, looked at his guard, and I was thinking, can anything else go wrong today? But so finished really strongly there. Double twist. Look, you can see that it's going.
Just wasn't to be. So 86.448.
To beat.
Yep, is the score to chase.
.533 for Vanayev. It's not the way he would have wanted this competition to end, and certainly not the way he would want to be feeling at the end of his six pieces.
Well, if you were to think about the competition before it started, your money would have been on Uchimura or Vanayev.
So, Kenzo Shirai with his last piece. He needs 13.983 to go ahead of the field. Oh,
well, straight in there, Markelov. He's got a big release coming, he needs to hang on. Straight Kovac. That's the one he came off in qualification. Squat dislocate. Into the straight yeg with full turn. Big difficulty. He's going for it. Again into another Kovac. Hop full turn. Squat dislocate with the half turn. Hop full from the stalder, winds up, got to be a big dismount. Kicks, wraps in. Oh! Double twisting, double straight. Kenzo Shirai.
Well, that was a big routine from Shirai there. He's absolutely delighted.
what a shout for a medal. But what colour will it be? Wow. Balievsky's up next. Yeah, look at the height. I tell you what, all those release and catches, they were never in any doubt, actually.
They weren't. I mean, he will collect some deductions, catching with bent arms, but I love that. I love that straight Jaeger with full twist. Don't see them so often these days.
But absolutely catch with bent arms as opposed to not catch at all.
Oh, yeah, you're right, you're right. But I think this is where the judges have really been eagle-eyed this championships. But he gives a real joy of performance, doesn't he, Shirai? There's always a ready smile.
Yeah, Rotang will be the penultimate gymnastico. He's in second place at the moment. Waliewski leading the field, and Kenzo Shirai, the gymnast you just saw there, was third going into high bar. But there's a face of relief. 13.966. He's behind. That's a bit of a shock, actually. In Chopin, he's behind Chopin.
You could see the deductions, though, in that routine there, the bent arms and the lateness of the turns.
But you can see the difference in the score, look, 0.017 behind Chopin.
It's so tight, isn't it? So tight.
Well, is this his chance? Is this his year? David Waliewski with a bid for world gold in this men's all-around final.
Well, his one-arm circle already. Big release, the straight Kachev. And the straddle. These gymnasts, the code requiring them to include these difficult moves.
Oh my word.
He cannot believe it. He just came out of the full turn a little bit late and struggled to convert. Look, watch, he was late there. And he was on, really. He just didn't get the dowels over. Ooh. There's the Markelov that he missed. Those Steinman swings that he's so renowned for. Full twist in the double straight dismount. What a shame. That will haunt him for many a year.
Well, he waves to the crowd that have supported him all the way around. Everybody was with him. Everybody wanted him to be victorious. Oh my word, what a story.
As you can see there, I think the downward momentum he had, even though his hands were over the top, just ripped him off the bar. You could see that could haunt him for the rest of his life. What could have been? That was the World Championship routine. I opened my mouth too soon there, saying he's really consistent on the high bar. But it was such a simple release.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't the release that you would expect was going to be a big problem for him.
You can see there.
Yeah.
Well, he looks in shock, doesn't he? He looks in shock. He can't quite understand how. He was screaming when he did the move. He knew it had all gone wrong.
Well,
so the door is wide open for
China. For a China 1-2 here.
Whew. Chao Rotang only needs 13.915 to go ahead of Lin Xiaoping. Waliewski 13.2. He's in third, but he won't stay in the top three.
It would have been enough, the 1 mark.
Yeah. Chao Rotang's turn to have a go at gold.
Well, some big releases. Starts with the first, straight Kachev. And again with the half turn. Coach hovering below the bar, but not needed. There's a squat this low, the half turn. And again, Kachev. And again with the half turn. very precise there. Full turn. Into the marker lob. No mistake in that. Bit late there in the Healy turn. Can he just hold on? Kicks up, wraps into the double twisting, double straight. Well, what a high bar we're having tonight.
21 years old, and he's just landed on a medal, and I'm sure it's gold.
I think you could be right.
Well, you have to say, did not hold back. He went for every single move, as he has throughout the competition. Lovely and flighty, catches these release and regrasps, and he's already extending, ready for the next move. The legs are kicking out, so he catches at full stretch. And that's exactly the technique that's meant to be used. Very efficient. Look, he'd finished that double twist upside down. He was able to just control the landing. Being totally focused all the way round.
Well, he didn't get a chance to show the world what he could do in Rio due to injury. Will Shirai hang on for bronze? Enrique Lardouet is still to go. This final rotation, and he will wrap up the competition. Zhao Rotang wondering, waiting, has he done enough? Will he see gold? It's been so classy all the way around.
He has indeed, and very sort of focused. You could see he didn't let any emotions in too much. Has he got it?
14.4 is enough at the moment. He's 0.4 ahead of his teammate Lin Xiaopan, but as it stands, it's China 1 and 2. Kenzo Shirai in third. Now Wilson is now in fifth after scoring 14.333 on floor. Still waiting for Moldauer's score on floor, but wrapping things up on high bar in this top group, Enrique Lardouet.
And it's been such an exciting gymnast all the way round. Lovely catch, just a little bit untidy on the legs. Oh, super extension, and he links the two Kachevs together. That's how you build your difficulty. The Stolder, you have to do moves that are close to the bar as well as these long swings away. Includes a one-arm swing. He's done his big difficulty. Just building now up to the dismount. Three twists, a triple twisting double straight. As if to say, wow, you want something to watch, I'll give it to you.
Oh, what a six pieces from the Cuban gymnast. And a nonchalant finish. You want the triple?
That's going to be the coolest dismount we have seen tonight. And he had great extension between all this. Such a powerful gymnast from working on top of the bar. You've got the one-arm work, the Kachevs. He combined the Kachevs as well to build the difficulty. And watch this. There you go. The hop full turn. Biggest dismount we've seen. Wraps up, not one, not two, but three. And then
kick out.
Hit the floor, and this goes, oh yeah. That is how you do it.
Well, you can't complain. We haven't seen plenty of character and charisma
I was
today.
going to say, every sport needs a character, and he certainly is a character for gymnastics.
Well, Niall Wilson is still hanging on in 5th. Lardway was in 7th.
He's going to move up, but how far?
He's gone into 5th. Yes, he's gone into 5th, and Niall Wilson is 6th. 14.333 for Lardway. He finishes 5th. Niall Wilson 6th. We'll just have to make sure that everybody is finished and all the scores are in, which I think they are. So there is your 1, 2 and 3. Chao Roteng is the world all-around champion, ahead of his teammate Ling Xiaopan. And Kenzo Shirai takes the bronze back to Japan to no doubt show Kohai Uchimura, who will be watching, and no doubt, even though he wasn't part of it, would have respected the gymnasts that were here and the fight that they put in.
Oh, absolutely, and it is a definite shift of power now for China to take 1 and 2, relegate Japan to 3rd place. Quite a change for this next cycle.
It certainly was, and who would have thought that Vernayev would have ended up so far down the table? Believsky could have been the world champion, and then off on the last piece of apparatus. But, you know, without a doubt, it's about these 3 gymnasts tonight. They've performed exceptionally well from start to finish. So, Chao Roteng, 86.933, Xiaopan 86.448, and Kenzo Shirai of Japan 86.431. And there you can see Believsky 86.315. And what a competition. Niall Wilson 85.332.
Fantastic. He's probably one of the very few to have worked completely clean. Here we go.
Confirmation, Chao Roteng is the new all-around world champion, ahead of Ling Xiaopan. His teammate Kenzo Shirai takes the bronze. David Believsky, oh, what a shame, but even after the fall, he finishes 4th. Yeah, Britain's Niall Wilson finishes 6th. Kevin Serda from Mexico. First time there's been a Mexican gymnast in the top 24 for over 30 years. And what a performance as well for Zachary Clay in front of the home crowd. Finishes in that 21st position. But we knew it was going to be close. We didn't know where it was going to go. It could have gone to 7 gymnasts in the end.
Well, you have to go down to 6th place before you have a mark in it.
Yeah.
So that's how tight it was. The odd step on landing.
And yeah, we go all the way back to 2007, the great Yang Wei, since there's been a Chinese gymnast that's been victorious on this world stage. And what do you think that will mean to China to be 1 and 2, to put 2 gymnasts up and both of them come in like that?
Very significant, and especially to do it in North America, in Canada, you know, sort of a long way from home. They generally don't travel terribly well, the Chinese gymnasts. They don't travel very much. They don't tend to take part in the circuit of competition so much. And these 2 gymnasts were very impressive. We are used to often seeing the Chinese gymnasts being fantastic, but making mistakes. But they haven't this time round. They've looked very solid. And if they continue to perform like this, they're going to they're going to dominate the world again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Christine. And what's really interesting is, like you say, the shift, as the shift changes now from specialist gymnasts, we're seeing the new formula of going back to the all-rounder. And you can see you sort of the nations, and they're really obviously focused on that all-round competitor. And I think that the team as well will be strong. Definitely Japan have missed Uchimura without a doubt. I bet we're looking at nearly 87 points there, which is within the old scoring system towards 90, which is a crackingly good score.
Yes, as you were alluding to, the next Olympics, there will only be 4 in a team, but there won't really be room for individuals who just work one piece. So the countries now, during this cycle running up to Tokyo, are going to have to be looking for their gymnasts to be all-rounders. And I think you can see this with Shirai. You know, he burst on the scene really as a floor and vaulter, and that's what we only saw him as. Well, he's done a lot of work this last year to be able to take 3rd place in an all-round competition, and it looks like the countries are taking it seriously and starting to produce all-round gymnasts, which for me is great. That, you know, that this is the blue ribbon event. If you can be the all-around champion, that's something that should be celebrated above all others.
Yeah, not since the likes of Vitaly Sherbov, we had an all-rounder that's been so good on all the apparatus. So that's why we've not seen somebody like Uchimura go and win every piece of apparatus like Sherbov did, because it's very difficult if you're training 6 pieces and you're going up against a specialist that's only doing 1 or 2. And I think that's been quite impressive about Shirai. We've only sort of thought of him as a floor and vaulter in the past because he's been in the shadows of Uchimura, but actually he's proven he's a good all-round gymnast as well.
Yeah, it's interesting, that comparison when you look at men's and women's gymnastics, because you often find, don't you, that you get, you know, very gymnasts that will dominate, especially in the women's side, that can do a good few pieces. I guess it's just because there's only 4 as opposed to the 6.
Yeah, there's only 4, and 3 of the women's pieces are tumble, you know, the ability to do acrobatics and tumble and vault and beam. So you have to become reasonable on bars as well. But on the men's side, it is a real mixture. You have to find the person who can. Well, that's why for me Vernaev's been so outstanding. He vaults like a specialist, and yet he's great on parallel bars as well. I think we'll see him back. Yeah, I think he needs a bit of a break.
Well, let's just talk about Vernaev for a bit, because what do you think went wrong for him today? Do you think it was mental, or do you think it was the point that he was tired?
I think he has done a lot of competitions. I mean, he's from the Ukraine, which is acknowledged their program hasn't got a lot of money in it. So he takes part in most of the World Cup competitions where you can win money, and he's no doubt funding his gymnastics, but probably a lot of the program's gymnastics as well.
But taking that into account, though, you would think he'd ease off coming up to the World Championships in order to be at his physical peak and ready to become world champion.
You would hope you could run it through. You know, that's what you would hope. And it's quite easy to get your peaking wrong, if you know what I mean. It's quite easy to think, oh, well, just one more comp and I can do it. And all of a sudden, you start to feel a bit weary, your confidence deserts you. You only need to do 1 or 2 competitions that aren't so great, and that drains your confidence.
Well, he wasn't very well in Paris in the World Cup as well, and I think he probably tried the same build-up as he did for Rio. And because in last year he did loads of competitions, you know, he went to the Europeans, he was making mistakes then, and it was like, well, he didn't look bothered about that because he was focused on the Olympics, and he was so really focused on that. And I think this year he's probably tried to do the same sort of thing, and then unfortunately I don't think he's got over the bit of a bug that he's had in Paris, and he's coming, and he did look a bit tired and a bit weary when he came into it.
And he's very, very slight. I mean, he hasn't, if he's been ill, he hasn't really got very much in the way of reserves. He's a very slight guy. So, they've just got the preparation not quite there. I mean, I think the fact that he does a lot of competitions was quite impressive and helped him a lot at first, because he wasn't a good competitor and he's learned how to compete, so that has been good. But then as you get a little bit older as well, you know, he's not 18 any longer. You have to sort of balance it out a little bit.
And if you think about the successful gymnasts from Brazil, there's not many come back from the games and not had a break of some sort. You know, and you're thinking, well, look at Uchimura, as he certainly had more of a break than Vanayev, I would imagine. So I think maybe it's a time that it just takes a bit of time, you know, now, and go, well, the next big event next year, focus on that, because he's definitely not done. He's a real potential,
no.
You know.
Well, it's good to hear you say that. And actually, you know, in comparison with Baliavsky, who is a year older than Vanayev, he's still very much, as we've seen, in major contention. I just hope that doesn't knock him too much, what happened out there, because he's got the chance to come and fight for maybe a few more medals at these championships.
Yeah, and I'm sure he will do. I mean, he comes from a programme where, you know, you go home with medals and you're a king. You know, so Russia celebrate their gymnasts. I always remember, you know, hearing the parents, if they couldn't have them as astronauts, they wanted them to be a gymnast, their children. That's the aspiration of a Russian parent, sort of thing. So there's every reason for him to come and fight for individual medals as well.
Well, what an all-round final we witnessed. We didn't know which way it was going to go. It went China 1 and 2, and Kenzo Shirai took the bronze. And you can see highlights of the competition at 1:45 on BBC Two later today. And for all of you hardened gymnastic fans, we're going to be back in the commentary box live at midnight, which is first thing Saturday morning. For the women's all-around competition. But we very much hope that you can join us then. We hope you've enjoyed the competition as much as we have.
Today, we end this war between us.
Strange what desire can make foolish people do.
We are an organization of a different dimension.
I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you.
They're coming for us all.
And no, I don't want to fall in love.
We don't get to decide who lives, no dies.
And no, don't want to fall in love.
We're out of our league.
With you.
All new Peaky Blinders coming soon, only on BBC Two.
This is BBC Two.
Loch is a conservation area because of its incredible marine life. But what makes it so special are some very shy tube worms that are busy building their own city out there under the water, and this I've got to see.
These waters conceal some curious little worms that build tube-shaped shells around themselves. Those tube worms have created their own version of a tropical coral reef, the largest of its kind in the Northern Hemisphere. It's down there somewhere, and I've got to find it.
Hi there, hi, how are you doing?
My guides in Loch Crieran are David Hughes, a marine biologist, and Emily Venables, an oceanographer. This loch's global claim to fame is down to the shells that the worms build around themselves.
Each individual worm secretes a hard calcified tube around itself that it uses to protect itself. Normally we find these worms just growing as single individuals on stones or bits of shell, but in a very small number of places you get large numbers of worms settling together, growing on top of each other.
Those hard tubes are the building blocks of an underwater city, and I want to see it. Emily Venables is my tour guide.
Okay.
Okay, good.
And here we are.
What's incredible about these tube worm reefs is that there's just silt everywhere on the bottom of the loch here, and then suddenly you come across this little oasis.
Inside these tubes is a creature much like an earthworm, but the only part you can see is its delicate fan of tentacles used to filter food from the water. And the slightest disturbance causes them to pull back lightning fast into their hard tubes for protection.
I love it when you just swim over them and it's like fireworks in reverse. They all just dart in very, very quickly.
These shy little worms fashion their tubes out of the same hard material as other seashells, calcium carbonate. But because they form vertical branch structures, they build up a reef where other creatures come to hide or hunt.
There's so many things living here. We've got hermit crabs, we've got anemones, we've got sea urchins. It's just a whole cast of characters living in this little city. It's absolutely brilliant, teeming with life. That's what we wanted to see, the scallop just swimming away. It's like a pair of comedy sort of wind up false teeth, isn't it?
These are queen scallops, they're fascinating. They suck in some water and then they squirt it out really quickly. It's like a jet.
There's a huge amount of